The local union boss representing thousands of carrier workers is taking aim at Donald Trump, calling the president-elect a liar. Chuck Jones says Trump inflated the number of jobs his deal with Carrier would save, and he has no regrets about calling out Trump on it.
We had a lot of our members, when the word was coming out of 1,100, they thought that they would have a job. And then they find out the next day, next Friday, that most likely they weren't. 550 were still going to lose their jobs.
Just a few minutes after that live interview, Donald Trump tweeted this, quote, Chuck Jones, who is president of United Steelworkers Local 1999, has done a terrible job representing workers. No wonder companies flee the country. Then an hour later, Trump tweeted, quote, if United Steelworkers was any good, they would have kept those jobs in Indiana. So let's talk about that and more. I'm joined by CNN political analyst and senior editor for The Atlantic, Ron Brownstein, and politics editor at TheRoot.com, Jason Johnson. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning, Carol.
So, Jason, the president-elect of the United States gets into like a Twitter argument with a local union guy. What do you make of that?
I think it's horrible, Carol, and it's dangerous. And let's be clear, he's not in an argument. He just attacked the guy. Chuck Jones came out and said, look, we're happy for the jobs that were saved, but you told us you were going to save a lot more jobs than you did, and that's a problem, and you shouldn't lie to people, and you got people here who know they're going to get laid off at the end of the year during Christmas time. He has every right to say that. It's his job to work with and protect those people, and he can say that Donald Trump lied. And then Trump attacked him. And now this man is getting death threats on the phone, via email. There have been reports of death threats at him. So I think it's horrible. It's irresponsible for President-elect. But that is unfortunately who he is and how he's going to behave going forward.
And by the way, Ron, Mr. Trump did not dispute Mr. Jones's numbers. Mr. Jones was on a New Day this morning, and he had this to say. Let's listen.
Maybe, the choice of words weren't the best, but the ultimate message was the same. He didn't tell the truth. He inflated the numbers, and I called him out on it. He overreacted, President-elect Trump did, and I would expect if he was going to tweet something, he should have come out and try to justify his numbers.
So Ron, I mean, in the great grand picture of life, where does this go?
Look, this is, I agree with Jason, this is very significant. The president-elect of the United States attacking an individual citizen by name because that citizen criticized him, after we have seen him also criticize other sources of kind of skepticism, ranging from Saturday Night Live to Hamilton to Corey Lewandowski, who used to be on this network, saying that the editor of the New York for many years. So what you've got is a systematic kind of really assault here on voices that are critical in a way that we simply have not seen before. This tweet yesterday, if it continues into the presidency, is an extraordinary kind of shift in our public dialogue, where the president of the United States, with all of that implies, leader of the free world, commander-in-chief, kind of bringing all that power to bear to criticize an individual American citizen because of raising questions about their performance. That is kind of a new world, and I'm not sure it's one that many Americans will be comfortable with.
Well, but Jason, what's the goal here? Is it just because Mr. Trump is thin-skinned, or does he want to intimidate people into going along with whatever he does?
Well, because he's basically auditioning to be a dictator and a bully.
That's strong.
It is,
Jason.
because this is dangerous. Because what happens if some crazy person, look, we've seen people run into pizza restaurants in D.C. and try and shoot them up because of conspiracy theories. What happens when Chuck Jones gets attacked? What happens when someone sets fire to, what happens when someone who Donald Trump attacks online? And again, he attacked him. The guy didn't say, I hate Donald Trump. We don't even know if Chuck Jones voted for him. He just said, look, he said he was going to save 1,100 jobs.
He voted for Hillary Clinton, by the way. I do know that.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like, look, he said he was going to save 1,100. He only saved 700. This is dangerous. And dictators do that. Dictators bully people. Dictators use that kind of arbitrary power. If Donald Trump wants to save jobs, that's great. That's what he ran on. I always think he should bring his own companies back first before going to local places. But this is dangerous, and I think it should concern any American citizen. citizen, Republican or Democrat.
So Ron, I mean, Jason is using the word
Yeah.
dictator.
Right.
That's strong.
Yeah, no, look, I don't think we're in, I don't think we're in that point. I mean, I think that is, I can see why people would feel that, this is kind of a road toward a kind of, rejecting kind of the voice of pluralism and legitimate voices of dissent. I would not go that far. And I think, Donald Trump won the election fair and square. He won the Electoral College. But the fact is that he's going to lose the popular vote by more than anyone who has ever taken office before. There are a lot of Americans with questions about the direction that he is setting. And the issue really for him is his goal to persuade and kind of include those Americans in his vision, or is it really to just kind of intimidate them into being quiet? And I think this kind of, this kind of personal criticism of an individual American who is raising questions about the president is a line that is a dangerous line to cross.
All right, you guys stick around. Ron Bronstein, Jason Johnson, because we have a lot more to talk about still to come in the newsroom. Donald Trump